you don't need me to tell you Season 3 of One Punch Man was bad. But how bad was it? One Punch Man Season 3 continues right where Season 2 left off. And seeing as Season 2 ended 6 years ago, and was probably the worst animated show many people have watched, they expect a lot from us to remember anything. But luckily the plot of Season 3 is really simple. There's a monster association and the heroes are preparing themselves for a raid on the monster base. During the preparation we get a lot of different POVs from a lot of different characters. So let's just skip the entire story and just focus directly on the characters because there isn't a lot of story anyway. The most important character is of course the main character, but during this arc the main character is not the titular character, as Garou keeps the main stage that was given during the second season and holds it with about as much conviction as the producers of this anime when they were assigning budget for the show. Meaning Garou went AWOL for half the season and when he was there he was in a drug-induced coma. Garou continues Season 3 with his story arc both finding his humanity and his inner monster at the same time, battling between what he feels right and doing what he wants, which mostly boils down to fighting and killing monsters to protect Taro. The other most important character this season is Child Emperor, who is the organizer of the entire raid. We get a lot of his point of view to the planning and logistics of the raid, and honestly, it's fine. We get a lot of personality with him, showing both his incredible smarts on top of his childish demeanor during the planning stages and the raid himself, along with a level of insecurity and a need for recognition that is a pretty good payoff at the end. Honestly, there wasn't a lot to hate when he was on screen because it was just pretty decent. The rest are basically background fodder. Yes, Saitama is there, so is Genos, King, Bang, Bomb, Fubuki, and along with a lot of other S-class heroes. Few get decent fights, most don't, so since there isn't a lot to discuss, I suppose we can talk about what everyone is talking about. Animation. One Punch Man Season 3 is one of the worst animated high-profile anime to come out in recent years. And to clarify, the animation and its problems are not the fault of the animators. They were not given enough time and resources to even make anything remotely good for this season. And I will not go into depth about the whole ordeal about what happened behind the scenes because a lot of other people already did and have done a way better job than I ever could. Now, with that said, the animation was dog water. Honestly, I thought Season 2 was bad and Season 3 was the same tier, but I was wrong. Oh, so wrong. We got motion tweening, stiff animation cycles, just still frames with a color filter over it. And this is inexcusable for any series, let alone something that was announced so long ago on an IP that so many people hold in high regard. But stiff animation is one thing. There are just also so many weird errors that either barely or never see in other shows, like characters having too many fingers. Sometimes things that were in the manga were totally missing in the actual episode and made some things just not make any sense. Why is she holding that pillar when there's no one to defend? Or a character that is not fully drawn and just cut off halfway. None of this is excusable, but at least I could understand some of it if the drawings were amazing, and they are not.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
The One Punch Man manga looks absolutely astonishing with Murata's art style, but the anime does not share this quality as most of the drawings do not look anywhere near the quality of a manga. Speaking of manga, One Punch Man during this arc in the manga had some trouble telling its story, where Murata wrote and drew several chapters only for him to rewrite and draw them again later, which was already one of the worst aspects of this entire arc. Anyway, this continued throughout several fights and moments in the manga, where the readers take the last version of each chapter number as the definitive version. Season 3, however, took the first version of the chapters and ran with that, not taking into account that a lot of the chapters later on go with the newest version of the chapters. So them being adapted like this in the anime might cause a lot of confusion to the people watching the anime. Well, this isn't a big issue now in Season 3, but Season 3 Part 2 is expected somewhere in 2027. And there, some of those plot inconsistencies might pop up more. Let's not even talk about the possibility of a Season 4 adapting even more future chapters that are even more incompatible with the current season. All in all, this season was a mess. In terms of plot, characters, animation, direction, all of it. With the only redeeming moments being the character moments where interactions are still pretty good since it's still One Punch Man, and the occasional joke that was translated pretty well into animation. On the other hand, this was such a nothing season that you can't even be mad at it. A 2 out of 10 is the highest and lowest I can give it and makes it the second best anime I have reviewed for this channel. But I see that quickly changing. I'm Durcoin, and thank you for watching.